My name is Cullan Bell, born and raised here on Maui. My family's been here for one generation before that, Oahu, and my Hawaiian ancestry has been, we can trace it back 700 years. But I'm a contractor, a dad, coach, husband, and I'm just a citizen of Maui that's over all the bullshit.
Right on, right on. Okay, so how did you feel about COVID when it first came out in 2020 versus the way you feel now? And did your thoughts evolve over time?
For sure, yeah. In the beginning, let's say back in March 2020, yeah, I was just as paranoid as everybody else. I was wiping shit down from Costco, you know, fucking hand sanitizer, washing my hands, fucking kids washing their hands. But things just didn't make sense to me. It's like, if this virus is really that bad, you know, this mask, I mean, the mask, it says it on multiple boxes of masks. You can go into Home Depot, wherever, Walmart, and purchase, and it says it won't stop airborne viruses. And I did some research, and I went back to the Spanish flu in 1918, and when the masks were proven to be causing more harm than they were helping. More people died from bacterial pneumonia than people that actually died from the Spanish flu back then. So I mean, things just weren't adding up to me. And I'm not one to, I never liked being ordered to do things I didn't want to do, or that I thought were, you know, were pointless, that didn't do anything. So from, I'd say early April, maybe even late March, I just stopped complying. I mean, at least for the masks, it just didn't make sense to me, and I wasn't gonna dumb myself down so other people felt better about themselves.
So you stopped complying with wearing the masks, and what experiences have you had shopping at regular stores?
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. People have been scared, put into so much fear that they don't function in society like normal people. They're not living. It's rough, man. Till this day, I still catch flack pretty much everywhere I go. There's a select few, I mean, that like stores that know me. I go into Home Depot. Like I said, I'm a contractor. I go into Home Depot multiple times a week, and I got a pro membership there, obviously, for my business. And in the beginning, they were super strict, and like to the point where they would call the cops on me every time I came in without a mask. Yeah. So, but you know, within this last maybe 8 months or so, they tell me hi and then carry on. I can carry on a conversation with the manager there like normal, like we're back in 2019. But there's a few places, the places that I've noticed that I get the most shit from are the small local businesses, the ones that I want to support, you know, and I go in there and I know they're not doing good, you know, and those are the places that I get the most shit from, and it hurts me, but I can't support businesses like that anymore. And I'm to the point where if you don't abide by the law that we all follow, which obviously these mandates don't fall into that category. They are not law, they're mandates. If you don't abide by the law and you give me shit for coming into your business and patronizing your business, I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm at that point. So good luck to you. You wanna kick me out, you're losing my business forever.
Tell me about your personal life and how this pandemic has affected you personally.
Personally, damn, man, it's rough. It's been a rough 19 months, you know, day in and day out. Like I said, going into businesses, getting ostracized and, you know, yelled at, chased out of businesses. Police called on me. I can't even count how many times I got the cops called on me for not wearing a mask. And you figure, you know, like for instance, a bank, I got my business account where I had it at Bank of Hawaii. They terminated my account because I wouldn't wear a mask in there. Yeah, the way I provide for my family is through my business. I've been doing carpentry. I'm a carpenter by trade. I've been doing it for the past 14 years. And, you know, I've had my own business since 2017. So about 4 or 5 years, I've been running my own company. And I've had my business account through Bank of Hawaii this whole time, all the way up until a few months ago. And they terminated my account because I wouldn't wear a mask in there. And a funny story, that day that I went in, the last day that I banked with them, one of their employees walked up to me and asked me why I was in the business account line. and that just blew my mind. It's like, he didn't ask nobody else. There's two other gentlemen in front of me, and the reason he gave me for asking me that question was he said that I didn't have a blue folder that they give out to all their business customers, and the two gentlemen in front of me didn't have that folder he was talking about either. And they turned around and they're like, what folder are you talking about? So I asked him, I was like, so what's the real reason you came over here and asked me that? Is it because of the way I look, or is it because I'm the only person in here without a mask on? Like, what is it? Because that folder bullshit isn't it. I know that. So what COVID has done to my life, it fucking sucks, man. I hate always being on edge. I definitely hate always having to worry about what I'm gonna say or how I'm gonna act. Obviously, I want to act in a civilized manner for the most part, but sometimes it's just not possible. And I hate showing that side of myself to my friends, my kids. Sorry, and I hate having to show them how to be normal. It's so ridiculous right now. I mean, I see kids everywhere I go, kids with parents and small children, 2 years, 3 years, wearing masks, and it kills me. It kills me. They can't see people's faces. They can't read emotions. They're told if they go home to grandma without doing this or that, they're gonna kill grandma. The government and the media is putting so much pressure on our youth. I think that's the main thing that has killed me. It is the main thing that has killed me, is what they're doing to our children. It's heartbreaking, definitely. Thinking back to the way I grew up here, free as a bird, rode my bike a lot wherever we went. I rode my bike. We went down to the river, picked guavas, whatever it may be, and I can't even let my kids have that same type of life that I was so lucky to have growing up. It pains me that I have to shelter them so bad right now. Definitely, that's the worst part of these past 2 years.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids. My oldest is 9.
And tell me about how that's affected your kids themselves.
Yeah. So the 9-year-old is the one who I feel bad for the most. We pulled him out of school last year, just because we actually had him in school physically. Kendall Grove and myself and his wife and my wife, we had our kids physically in school. There were, a handful of students that were actually physically in school when school started last year, and we brought them back after fall break last year. So right about the same time, and we were told they could no longer be physically in school. They no longer could be there around their friends. They could no longer be there getting in-person instruction. And for these kids at this age, and at any age, I mean, in-person learning is the best way to learn. I tried the online learning with him. It was a shit show. The learning was very minimal. They were maybe on the computer 1 or 2 hours for the day, and then they called it quits. It was rough. I ended up dragging my son with me around to work, having him do homeschooling, and it's rough on them. Yeah. Like I said, on my 9-year-old, I feel it's the roughest. He doesn't get to lead a normal life like a normal 9-year-old would. He's not able to go to school, play with his friends. I couldn't bring myself to send him to school and force him to wear a mask. The medical exemptions that we tried for the masks were rejected. So there was no way.
So you actually you applied for medical exemptions for your kids to not have to wear a mask. We did, and
we actually had it signed by a
pediatrician.
Pediatrician, right?
And they denied that.
Yeah, the school denied it.
Right.
Yeah.
And did they give you a specific reason why they denied it?
No specific reason. They just said they couldn't accept it at this time.
Was that verbal, or is that in a letter?
It was through a certified mail.
Certified mail.
Yeah, I called him up. I called the principal up. He knows me all too well now.
I'd love a copy of that, man, if you.
But yeah, he rejected it even over the phone.
That's unreal. Okay, so tell me in a general sense how you feel about the mandates going on right now, the mask mandates, the vaccinations, the health pass. In general, how do you feel that has affected Maui and Hawaii?
It's affected the world, really.
Yeah,
But,
it has. Yeah.
For our community here, the news and news and government push so much propaganda, lies. They divided the community. So when, like I said, everywhere I go, I never wear a mask, and you can definitely feel the hate from certain people. I never want to bring hate into any situation, but you can definitely feel the hate amongst people of this island, and the mask mandates, I mean, they're proven useless. I really don't understand how people are still just sleeping at the wheel. It's unbelievable to me how, they think a little cloth mask will stop the world's most deadliest virus. It blows my mind. But as to the vaccine mandates, I mean, that one hits close to home. My wife works at Maui Medical Group, and she's also being mandated. Right now, they're kind of in limbo. They're waiting to see what the rest of the nation is going to be doing.
Did she get an option to test?
She did, but I don't want her to test either, and she doesn't want to test at all.
Okay.
So to me, with the mandates, if you bend, they'll break you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's all or nothing.
Okay.
To me, that's the way I look at it.
So she's risking her job. She's risking losing her job by her employer, who they're basically about ready to force mandate everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
What does she do?
She's a medical scribe.
Okay.
And she's ready to walk if it does come down to that. We do have some paperwork in line for her too. I'm working on a religious exemption for her. If she is mandated, they actually ostracize her. So she's probably one of a handful of employees working there.
Does she have a union?
What is that?
Does she have a union?
No, they don't.
Oh, okay.
But she is one of a handful of employees that they have there that are refusing everything. Totally.
Only a handful.
Most
people are going along.
Right. Okay. Majority, pretty much. I think she told me it was something like 90-something% of them already got the shot. So,
yeah. Right.
But definitely, it's like the discrimination in the workplace is real. If you're not vaccinated, you can't eat in the workroom no more.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, because she's not wanting to test, or they actually tried to make her, because she's not getting the shot, they actually tried to make her wear an N95 all day. And there's no way you can breathe out of that thing.
No.
And I don't think people realize that. I mean, in adults, it's worse for kids, but in adults, wearing a mask for 6 hours a day, you're inhaling 7 times the amount of carbon dioxide that your body is supposed to be inhaling.
Right.
But
and these studies are never covered on our local news, our corporate media.
No.
They're not covered. These studies are out there for the world to see, but they're not being covered.
There's hundreds, if not thousands, of studies out there and resources that you can go to look, and they're all being pushed aside.
Right.
For sure.
So tell me about any personal family or friend relationships that you've suffered. Have you lost any friends or family due to this?
My friends are all gangsters. They know what's up, for sure.
Uh-huh.
They all know what's up.
Like, have you lost any friends that were like, no, man, you're crazy?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Friends know what's going on. Think logically, critically.
Mm-hmm.
Family, on the other hand, there's definitely been a divide, and meaning divide, I mean I've been pushed to a corner with my family, for sure.
Wow. Okay.
I'm the only one that's vocal. I'm one of the only ones that feel the way I feel about what's going on, and definitely the only one that's vocal about what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rough, man. I love my family. I'll do anything for them. I tried to warn them what was happening, and it's like my 2 grandmas. They turn on the news every day at 5. It's that type of thing, and that's where they get their information. That's what they believe. It's definitely caused a divide in my family, and it sucks. But at this point, I've come to grips with what's happening and what it has done, and I know I'm doing the right thing, and I can't stop for my children and my wife.
Let's just talk real quick about the media. So, what do you think about the way that the media has covered the pandemic, both local and corporate media?
local and corporate media. I don't think they follow the pandemic. I think they followed a script and an agenda, and that's what they're following. They're following a plan out to the T, and it it obviously has worked in swaying the portrayal of what's happening in a big way. Most of it is propaganda, and the rest of it is just straight up lies. That's the way I look at it. I can't even turn on the news for. I can't handle 30 seconds of it anymore. It's ridiculous. The propaganda is on every media outlet that you turn on. It's
what do you
never
think about
ending.
the local media? Do you think the local media is getting their narrative from corporate media all the way down from the top?
I think so. I definitely think so. There's a handful of media personalities that somewhat speak for themselves. I don't know if you heard about Brenton Awal, but Brenton Awal was I believe he was with KITV, and because of his views and his beliefs and his moral compass, he was ostracized, and so he lost his job. But there's a few, very few.
Until they lose their job.
Right. There's a very few of them that I feel that have a moral compass, because at this point it's like I don't understand how the media, especially local media, how they keep pushing nonsense down people's throats, how they keep the divide up. I believe 100% they're following suit, and they're following the agenda, and they're following the narrative to the T.
So how do you feel about the actions taken by EGAY, the health department, the Department of Education?
I hate it.
Okay.
EGAY, fuck him. Excuse my language, but fuck EGAY. Okay. I don't know if you saw his last press conference, but they're lowering the age to 5, and he's planning on having vax clinics at every elementary school in Hawaii. EGAY is following suit by whoever deep state fucking puppet master that he's taking orders from. That's who EGAY is taking orders from. He's a puppet on somebody's hand. That's all he is, and so are all the other government officials. I don't know if you saw Victorino's last press conference, but he had those same rainbow colored flags that Joe Biden had up. And I got nothing against gay people or whatever, whatever preference you may have. Yeah, it should be a choice, as should all these mandates. If you want to wear a mask, that should be your choice. If you think it's going to help you, by all means, put it on. Same with the vaccine. If you believe in the vaccine, you think it's good for you, that should be your choice. It shouldn't be mandated across such a broad spectrum. It's not for everybody. It shouldn't be for anybody. But it should definitely be a choice. And I definitely think that our government officials are just puppets. They're just doing what they're told to be done. They're doing what they're told they have to do. DOH, DOE, they dropped the ball big time. I'm pissed at both of those organizations. It's criminal what they're doing to these kids. It's proven that the obesity rate in children over the past year has gone up. I think it was some crazy number, like kids are gaining an average of 20 pounds. And it's that is the least of their worries to me. But I think the mental side effects from what they're putting on these kids are going to be irreversible for sure. And we're going to have a whole generation of fucked up people at the rate that they're pushing on this next generation. What they're doing to them is just criminal. It's I want to see some consequences coming for these guys real soon, because my kids are a part of this next generation. My friends' kids, my nieces, my nephews, that's who we're fighting for. We're fighting for them. And the DOE and the DOH, they should be fucking abolished, because they ain't doing their fucking job. We need a clean house.
All right, so tell me how you feel about specifically Mayor Victorino. You were saying that you think that EGAY is taking orders from someone else. Who do you think Victorino's taking orders from?
Victorino? I'm sure he'll get mad if he sees this. I think he's taking orders from his daddy, Lieutenant Josh Green. Josh Green and Ige. That's who he's taking orders from. He acts like he pushes back. You know, in some cases, yeah, maybe he is. But there's no way, yeah, that these government officials, including Victorino, are that dumb to not know what's happening right now. There's no fucking way. They need to freaking know exactly what's happening, exactly what's being pushed on our people. Yeah. And if he was half the man he thinks he is, he'd stand up and do something about it. Because like he told me in the last meeting we had with him, he has grandchildren, he has great grandchildren. And this, what's happening right now, yeah, will affect all of those kids' lives in a negative way. If he doesn't have the courage to do what is right, then get the fuck out and let somebody else do it.
If you could speak to Ige, Josh Green, Rick Blangiardi, and Mayor Victorino, all of them, if you had them in a room, just like, what would you say?
We had a couple of them in a room, and they had us on a time clock. So, so if I had all of them in a room right now, what I would say is, look at yourselves in the mirror. Take a good, long look at yourselves in the mirror, and ask yourselves if what you're doing right now is right. If what you're doing right now, yeah, you're doing it for yourself, or you're doing it for your grandchildren, your children, your great-grandchildren. Ask yourself what you want their futures to be. Ask yourself how you feel, yeah, when the rest of these people wake up and realize that you guys been fucking them for the past 19 months. Then ask yourself what the punishment for treason and crimes against humanity is.
What would you say to the locals sitting on the sidelines or following along with this program instead of standing up to the government like they did with Mauna Kea?
That's a good question. I've been asking myself the same thing. Where are all the Hawaiians at? Where are all the locals that are born and raised here? I don't believe that they're all brainwashed, because, you know, in a couple rallies we had up there at the State Building, we started gaining momentum. And I think sometimes maybe the image of what's happening gets misconstrued along the way. So a bunch of locals I heard personally from got turned off because of you know, music or whatever the case may be, the type of people that were turning out to these events. But what I want to say to them is this isn't the time to stand on the sidelines. It's fucking game time. And the other side, the enemy, that's literally what they are. They're our enemy right now. They're pushing on the gas and they ain't taking their foot off the pedal. And right now, we need to fight. We need to fight back. We need to unify. Unification with aloha is the only way that we win. And sitting on the sidelines, yeah, you're part of the problem to me. That's my take on it. If you're not fighting, you're not doing something, if you're not active, you're part of the problem. So what I would say to all the Hawaiians out there is stand with me, stand with us. Unification with aloha is the only way. We can only win together. The media and the government has caused this divide by fear. We need to stop the fear. Let your families, let your ohana, let your friends know that there are methods, there are alternatives to what the government and media is pushing down our throats. There are ways to help. There are sure-fact ways to help. And we have doctors who will stand by that and will help people. And the unification is the main key. We need to end the fear and unify as one.
What do you think would be the best way for us to move forward after everything we've seen around the world?
Oh, man, moving forward, like I said, the only way is together. And we need to keep, you know, reaching out to everybody, informing people that there are ways to stop this virus, surefire ways to stop this virus. We need to help stop the fear. The fear is what caused the divide, and divided we will fall. United we fly.
Cullan, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you, brother
Really
John.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Anytime,
right on,
bro.
brother. All right. Thank you. Aloha.